What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Kinstretch class brought to you by Stretch Effects. My name is Coach Luke, and I'll be taking you through today's 30-minute hip extension focused Kinstretch class. We're going to get started right into it with some hip covers. We're going to go some sideline hip covers and some sideline hip capsule covers just to get things warmed up. And then we'll get right into some hip extension pills and rails. So we're just going to take a block. If you have two, it's two. If you have one, throw one under the pillow, throw one under your head as your pillow. And then you can just go from here, you can go arms out front. If you have two, you can just take the other one and just squeeze it right to the rib cage, just to kind of help you create more tension. And then also act as a reminder not to extend, right? As you extend, you'll feel your ribs shoot into that block. So you can use that block just to kind of help keep your ribs down, keep a good, nice, tight core position. And now we're gonna go two hip cars, so just go up into flexion, abduction, internal rotation, and then this is the motion we're working on today. Hip extension, so drive that heel back, work on driving the heel back, getting that glute fired up without extending at that lumbar spine, which is one thing. And as we go back in extension, so as we work on these hip cars, that's why one reason why we're using this block is so we can feel hip extension, we can feel the glute firing up without arching our back, right? So that would be the extension of the lumbar spine, that would be the ribs shooting forward into this block. So use this block, keep those ribs down, keep that core tight, really accentuate core tension so you can get the most out of the glute as we extend back. So as we go from here, we extend that hip, so feel that glute squeeze. Come back into flexion, and especially if you're here, hip extension, fire that glute up. You may feel some hamstring working here as well, keep that core tight. And over the top, around, and through. So let's just get some hip capsule cars here. So we're going to be up in full abduction, so we're trying to take this knee back to the wall behind me, and I'm just going to go 3 internal, external capsule cars. I just want to get the hip fired up as we'll be working on some hip extension today. Although this is internal, external rotation, is the prerequisite motion for hip extension. So if you want to have good hip extension, better make sure you got good internal, external rotation. We just throw an extra rep in there for good measure. And let's switch sides. Go. Line on the left side. Again, if you have that block, you don't have the second block, you can always use a pillow. You use something just for feedback. You can even just kind of take your hands together. We just want to use something to remind us to keep that what we call ribs down position. So I don't want to extend, I don't want to arch my lower back as I'm trying to take that hip back, right? So we want hip extension and not lumbar extension or low back. So we want spine to do what a spine does. We want hips to do what hips do in this case. So we're going to squeeze that block. Go 2 hip cars. Around. Hip extension here, right? So take that heel, kick the wall behind you, not losing integrity of the core. And through. Let's go one more time. Open. Around, through, and reverse, over the top, and through. So let's go back up, open, and internal, external rotation. So the external rotation foot comes forward, internal rotation foot rotates back. The rest of that body stays still. Press your down leg into the floor. The last one, drive that heel back and squeeze and hold. External rotation, drive the heel forward, squeeze, feel everything here firing up, and back down, and relax. So from there, get right into some hip extension pills and rails. So we'll those blocks off to the side. You want to get into a kneeling position with a wall or 2 chairs, your bed, something next to you that you can just use for stability, as we don't want to have to be working on balance. So we can really focus on getting the most out of this hip extension action here. So what I'm going to do is I'll start on my left side, so I'm going to have my inside leg will be up, outside leg will be down. So I'm just going to take my mat here, I'm just going to throw it, hold it a couple times just to act as a little cushion for the knee here, right? So I'm just going to really focus on the left leg here. Outside leg is out, inside leg is downwards, or sorry, inside leg is up in this knee position, and then the outside leg is down just so you guys can see me here, but whatever's most comfortable for you, whatever allows you to get more balance. So if you have sticks, you can drive sticks into the floor there. If you have something to hold on to, you get like a stall bar or something like that, you can hold on there. Whatever allows you just to get more stability, because we want to create as much hip extension action as we can without having to worry about the balance, right? And then again, I folded my mat under a few times. If you have a pillow, something to pad, something to throw under your knee, because this could get kind of uncomfortable and it's going to be good for a little bit of time. So anything that allows you to get more comfort through the knee, because we want to make sure that you have the most ability to work on this without having to worry about discomfort, right? So I got my wall out to my side. You can tuck the toe or untuck the toe depending on how it feels on your knee. If tucking kind of bothers it, just go ahead and untuck it. You can do multiple sets of multiple different positions as well. So I'm just going to focus on the passive stretch here. So I'm just going to tuck the tailbone. So I'm posteriorly pelvic tilt, right? So if you think about your pelvis, right, as a bucket of water, anterior tilt, dumping it forward, posterior tilt, dumping it back. Most people don't have a whole lot of posterior tilt, which is totally normal, but you just want to really kind of try to drive that pelvis under you. So you're tucking that tailbone, squeezing that glute on the back leg, and then you'll feel the stretch down the front side of this leg here. And then what I'm going to do as I breathe, I'm just going to slowly relax and then just take my pelvis forward, right? So this hip extension action is what I'm stretching here, so we feel the stretch all the way down the front of the leg and feel the contraction on the back side there, okay? So I'm just going to take here. We're going to breathe for about 2 minutes, just relaxing, just getting deeper into it. My pils contraction, okay, will be driving my knee forward and up. So I'm going to keep my knee where it's at, right? My knee's still on the floor. It's going to be an isometric contraction. It's not going to move. But the action of the hip will be as if I was flexing it forward and trying to pull it up. So as if I was trying to drive here, right? But it's in the floor, so the action is driving forward. No movement is taking place. I'm going to build up to my max contraction for the first 10 seconds. I'm going to hold that max contraction for another 10 seconds. Okay, from there I'll quickly switch directions to my rails contraction. So the rails contraction, I'm just going to switch directions, driving now back. So I'm trying to take my glute, take my hamstring, and really contract and really squeeze as if I was trying to drive my knee posteriorly towards my back, towards the back wall. Okay, so I'm going to hold that and go right into the max contraction for 15 seconds. I'll then relax deeper into a posterior pelvic tilt as these tissues open up a little bit, and then I'll just sink a little bit deeper, and then we'll do a second rep, and then we'll switch sides. Okay? So let's hang out here for another few breaths. So think about the passive stretch, always working on 4 to 5 count inhale, 8 to 10 count exhale. Every time you exhale, that's the more of the relaxation component of the breath. See if you can not just do this, right? I want to stay here, and then just slide forward, keeping that glute tight, maximizing the stretch on the front side of my body. Okay. You want to take your hand, just remind you to stay pelvically tilted. It's a good reminder as well. The other hand on the rib cage, that reminds you to stay down, and if anything, fold down just a little bit, get a little bit of flexion here, just to kind of feed more into that pelvic tilt, a little more of that squeeze. Okay. So from there, let's take a breath in. Great full body tension, and then slowly start driving the knee forward and up, building up to 100% on the first 10 seconds. We got 20%, 30%, keep driving forward and up, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90%, and 100% effort hold, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rails, drive back, drive that hip back, feel the hamstring, feel the glute firing, try to drive it back into more extension. We got another 10, 9, 8, keep that tilt, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now just relax, get more posterior tilt as you relax, and sink deeper into it, okay? With our rails contraction, you really want to try to feed more into that stretch, right? So the rails contraction should be such that as you relax out of the contraction driving back, you've been posteriorly tilting so much through that whole contraction that as you relax driving back, you now sink immediately deeper into more of a posterior tilt, more of a hip extension position, right? So we're not driving back now in passive stretch, but now we're sinking farther forward because as we just showed our body, hey, we're in this deep stretch position, but we can still contract. As you relax out of it, your body will naturally branch you a little bit more, right? That just shows how much the brain is in control of the tension, right? It's not necessarily the muscles themselves that are tight. It's the brain communicating with the capsule, in this case at the hip, telling the brain how and where to set the tension, right? So as you're contracting those tissues, the brain says, okay, you can still contract there, here's a little bit more range. And that's why you get deeper on that second passive stretch component, okay? So it's been about 30 seconds. Solidify again, so take a breath in, brace that core, and then slowly start driving the knee forward and up again, building up. We're at 10%, 20, 30, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70, keep going, 80, 90, and max effort 10. 9, keep driving forward, and up, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch directions, drive back, rails, 15, 14, keep tugging, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Get a little bit more, see if you can lean a little bit farther forward, taking those hips forward, not arching the back, and relax. Now you know I told you to put the pad on your knee, huh? You're on that knee for a little while, it's okay. Just gonna go to switch. Immediately to the right side, or the left side, depending on which side you started on. I'm just gonna get right back into that stretch, okay? So we're going 2 sets here, so pelvic tilt on that right hip. It's a really good opportunity to feel how that first hip felt, but by the end, you get right into the other hip that hasn't even worked yet, and you realize, let's do some work, right? So, at least in my case, so a lot of us, we spend a lot of time in hip flexion, right? So we're sitting, whether we're in the car, we're at a desk, on a plane, we spend a lot of time in that shortened position of hip flexion. So this is a really great opportunity to really work on lengthening these tissues, opening them up, spending some time in hip extension. Just our modern day society, lifestyles don't really bode well for hip extension, so this is a great opportunity to work on that. And then it's also going to help you, if you're a runner, play any sports really, hip extension is key for proper gait, for walking, running, doing really anything physical activity, right? So this is why we're here, of course, right? To make our body stronger, to feel better, perform better. And this is a great opportunity for a lot of people, especially cyclists, runners, people like that. This is going to be huge for you. So we're just going to hang out here for another minute. Again, work on the passive stretch. 4 to 5 count inhale, 8 to 10 count exhale. Just focus on your breathing, focus on big belly breaths. The more you can relax, the more you can pelvic tilt, the more you can slightly sink deeper, maintain that pelvic tilt, right? So I don't want to be here and then lose it just so I can get further there, right? That's a lot of times what you see with the classic hip flexor stretch. So we're trying to get tucked and then just slide forward as much as we can while maintaining that tuck. Tight head. So just a reminder, tails driving forward and up, build for 10, max effort 10, rails right into 100%, driving that knee back, really feel the glute hamstring, kind of turn it on as we drive back 15 seconds, and then we'll go 30-second break, and getting more of a stretch, one more round, okay? So take a breath in, raise that core, full body tension, and start driving the knee forward, and up as if we were trying to flex that hip. Keep that pelvic tilt, keep driving forward and up. We're at 30%, 40%, 50, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, and 100% effort. Drive forward and up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, keep that tuck, keep that tilt, and rails, drive back, hamstring, glute, fire it up, trying to drive away, trying to push the ground away with that knee, keep that pelvic tilt, let's keep going, 10, 9, keep that full body tension, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Sink deeper into it. Don't lose that pelvic tilt. Let that hip drop more. Let that, or I should say, drop forward more. Pelvic tilt more. If you got a lot of mobility here, you can start to really push that. Again, make sure that this stays tight. Pelvic stays tucked under you, and then you drive it forward. Good. Okay, it'll take maybe 15 seconds. Take 1 or 2 more big, deep diaphragmatic breaths. Big belly breaths here. 4 to 5 count inhale. 8 to 10 count exhale. You do it right. That last 15 seconds should be about 1 breath, right? So it's super slow. On the next inhale, brace that core, pack that air down, get nice and full body tension, and start driving the knee forward and up again. We're at 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50, 60, 70, keep going, 80, 90, keep that tuck, and 100% effort, drive forward and up with that knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rails, drive back, drive that floor away from you. Keep that pelvic tilt, feel hamstring, feel glute working. Push away, push away, push away. Keep that tuck, keep driving that hip forward, keep going. 10, 9, 100%, 8, 7, 6, 5, squeeze that glute, squeeze that hamstring. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. As you do so, sink a little bit deeper. Nice work. Come out of that. Just look at a little anterior, posterior pelvic tilts. Very good. So from there, let's lay our mats back out. We're gonna get right into some passive range holds and passive range liftoffs. So we're gonna be doing these from a little bit of a hip extension / knee flexion position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this position here. So I'm gonna hold here with my leg. Come from the front of that leg. I'm gonna pull up into hip extension. I don't want to get a crazy amount of lumbar extension, so I really want to tuck those ribs and really just kind of try to keep the core braced. So I don't want to be really arching from here. I want to take the ribs down, tuck that tailbone, and I'm gonna pull into more posterior pelvic tilt. It's gonna be hard because of the way you're laying, and then you're just gonna release slowly, and you're gonna hold, trying to keep the knee 1 centimeter or 1 inch, if you can, off the floor for the designated period of time. So we'll do 5-second holds there. Just really trying to think. Keep that knee flexed. You're probably gonna cramp in your hamstring because we rarely get the amount of hip extension and knee flexion that is required for this exercise. So the crampy kind of feeling, which we call it neurological inflammation. So it's not gonna be anything serious, nothing crazy. Just be aware that it may happen. It's totally normal. Okay, so we're gonna go for 5-second holds, and then we're gonna go some lift offs from that side, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, so I'm gonna be here. So tuck, ribs down, really squeeze and hold, and then so from there, I'll grab my ankle, ribs down, squeeze that glute. From there, body stays tight. I will then slowly release and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab again. Let it rest for a second. You may have cramped up there. That's totally okay. Bridge it down. Drive the hip to the ceiling. Try to really pull that heel to the butt. From there, I will slowly release and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab again. Okay, so really accentuate that ribs down, really accentuate that core tension here. Down and get tight and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, my hamstring's cramping. We got 2 more here. Ribs down, lift that hip. So squeeze that glute, squeeze that hamstring. Slowly release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and last one here. Ribs are down, core's tight. Actively contract the heel towards the butt. Now drive hip to the ceiling, so trying to lift the knee off the floor. And last one, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From there, kind of shake out for a second here. As we go from there, we're gonna go right into the same leg. And then I'm just gonna take both arms down now. Really accentuate ribs down. Really wanna feel those abs contracting. So I'm gonna take my knee up to about 90 degrees. Heel will just drive straight up to the ceiling. We're not trying to get like a here, right? Because that's a lot of lumbar extension. But I just really want to focus on driving my heel to the sky, squeezing that glute, keeping my ribs down. So you really feel those abs, really feel core tension. Trying to drive core tension just about as much as you're trying to drive the hip extension, right? So that's glute turning on, grab that hip up, grab the heel to the sky. The knee only needs to leave the ground even a centimeter, so you know that you got hip extension. You want, again, just like we talked about for hip bars, more hip extension, less lumbar extension, okay? We're gonna go 5 lift offs from here. So you can take here, whatever you want to do with the arms. Ribs down, try to lift that belly button off the floor. Knees at 90 degrees. Get nice and tight, full brace, and lift. And down, 1. Drive that heel to the sky and lift. Down, 2. You may feel that hamstring cramp, that's okay. Second or third rep and lift. Down, 3. We got 2 more. Ribs down, heel up, down, or up, sorry. Down, 4. Last 1. Abs tight. Squeeze that core, brace everything. Drive the heel to the sky, feel like glute hamstring. And back down. And straighten it out. We're gonna switch sides. So again, just real, I want to be just kind of real quickly go over the importance of driving the hip up, so driving the hamstring and the glute into extension versus the lumbar. So if you're feeling that lumbar extension there, what you can do is you can take a towel and you can kind of roll something up or kind of go to the rib cage there. Or what you can really, what I would do is just really focus on ribs down, core tension, and just focus on the contraction of the hamstring and the glute, not necessarily the action of driving towards the ceiling, right? So, because a lot of times we want to get the end point, right, which would be getting the leg off the floor, but we do so by arching our back, extending our lumbar spine. So just feeling the connection, if this is the first time you're doing this kind of higher level hip extension work, feeling the connection can be huge, right? So just as a quick reminder, right? So just really focus on glute, hamstring, focus on that more so, that feeling versus like having to get your heels super high up in the air, right? Because a lot of times, even just 1 inch off the floor is more extension than most people kind of have, right? So let's get back in this position. Grab the leg. This other leg may be different than the first leg, so just be ready for a different feeling. Ribs down. I'm gonna take my heel up to the sky. Core tension and release and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee comes back down and grabs the foot again. So again, this is knee extension knee flexion and hip extension. So this is going to be quite a bit different, but this is what we need, what most people need, right? So think, pull that leg up off the floor, brace that core, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, ooh, cramp, there we go. It's 2. Brace, lift, ribs down, hold that leg up there, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, 3. I knew my left leg was gonna be a little worse. And ribs down, core tight, extend, and release, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down, 4. Last one here, make the best effort you possibly got, okay? So from there, really get those ribs down, drive that hip up to the sky, slowly release, try to keep that heel right on the butt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back down, okay? Let's get right into our passive range lift offs. So it'll be head down, ribs down, knee at 90, heel up. Right, so I'm trying to tuck that toe. As I go from here, really just accentuate core tension. If you want to go here, or here, whatever helps you for stability, just get there. Tuck that tailbone, full body tension, and drive up. Back down. 1. Back up. Down. 2. And feel that hamstring. Work that glute, work that hamstring, put the mind in that backside. Here we go. And up. Down. 3. Tension. Up. Down. 4. Last one. Tension. Up. Down. And 5. Okay. So that was hip extension, pills and rails with pass range holds for knee flexion and hip extension, and then hip extension with some slight knee flexion, not max knee flexion. So we're just going to finish with some quadruped knee hinges. So the hip extension, knee hinges. So we just did our left leg, so let's go to the right leg. So we'll go quadruped here. We're going to go 5 reps. This is going to be super quick. Again, we want to go slow, but only doing 5. So think core tension, think spread the floor with the hands, keep some good shoulder stability. Knees can come a little bit closer, and then I'm just going to take my right hip, so think core tension really, so it's ribs down, keep this good, kind of flat back. I'm going to take my right hip up into extension. Again, we don't want to get here, right? It's not about getting flat with the body. As far as I can get, it's good amount of core tension. From there, I'm just going to hold that hip up, extend that knee out, keep that knee right there, and flex. We got 5 reps. Extend, core tension, there, 2. Extend, 3. 5, those ribs down. 4, last one. Flex, extend, and touch down, and we will switch. So hands are a little bit wider, so that shoulder width is a little bit wider. These are a little bit inside hip width. Good core tension. Take this hip, the left heel up to the sky, so left hip into extension. Get as much as you can, keeping that core tight. Extend that knee. Flex. Feel that extension there. Feel that glute stay tight. Or sorry, feel the core stay tight. This glute stay tight. Flex that knee. 2. 3. Don't bend those elbows. Stay tight through that whole body. We got 2 more. Flex. Last one. See if you can get higher up. 4. And 5. Calm down. Very good. That was a 30-minute hip extension focused Kinstretch class. Got some knee flexion in there as well, as they often pair very well together in all of our life activities. So thank you for joining me in today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, that's a good one. You spend a lot of time in hip flexion, just like I'm here right now. You will want to work on that, more often than not. So you can do that stretch from 90-degree position. You can elevate your foot up onto a couch or on some yoga blocks, something like that. Just kind of give you a little bit more deflection and train that as well. It's all about being strong in all positions, right? So continue to work on those knee and hip extension pills and rails. Continue to work on your cars. If you want to finish up this video with some more sideline hip cars, and that would be a great one, as you'd really be able to feel greater hip extension as you drive the heel back to the wall. By all means, do so. Again, thank you for joining me in today's class. It was a fun one, and I hope to see you in the next one.